Hey everyone, Cynics here, and I'm back for part 2 of our Vic Viper Design Lab. So we had a lot of great entries, and thanks to everyone who participated, but in the end, I just picked out my 8 favorite designs, and you guys will be able to select from those 8 and tell me which one should be a finished illustration. And you can do that by voting in the comments below. Just comment about which one you would like to see, and hopefully I'll get to a consensus on it. So anyway, without further ado, let's hop right in. First up is JSPARK, a Design Lab regular, and he always has a lot of really solid looking designs. Although I feel like a lot of these don't quite qualify as Vic Vipers. He seems to have 2 vertical wings on a lot of them. But nonetheless, there's enough interesting qualities for me to try to fix it up if you guys select it. And I think this number 3 that I highlighted is probably the most interesting among them. So that's the one you can vote for if you pick JSPARK. Next up is Axelga, who is also a Design Lab regular, and he did some great little collections of thumbnails. But I thought this number 6 was definitely the strangest and most interesting one. So that's the one I picked. Once again, it's a little strange for a Vic Viper, but I think it technically might qualify. But it definitely has a good silhouette and some good lines to it. Number 3 is a design by Kolbasio, and I recommend in the future he buys a sketchbook and doesn't do his sketching on lined paper because it's kind of distracting. But regardless of that, I thought this design actually looked really cool. It was kind of a simple conceptual thing incorporating elements of a skull, but the way he did it just felt right to me. It felt like it had a nice solid design element that just looks stylish. So good job, Kolbasio. Number 4 is going to be Zoraxbrooks, and it looks like he actually used the Lego Digital Designer, which is kind of a digital playset of Legos where you can design stuff. And that's a really cool idea. And I liked his little ship that he came up with. He's got the little prongs going backward, it looks like, but he's got the vertical wing and the horizontal wings, so it does qualify, and I just thought that was a neat way to do your thumbnailing process. Number 5 is going to be a couple designs by OverlordGunnar, and I couldn't really decide which one of these I liked more because they both have such strong elements. So I figured I'd just say, kind of lump them together and say, if you guys voted for these, it'd probably be a mix of the 2 of them, because that's a fun way to do things. Number 6 comes from a great little collection of thumbnails by Artistry, and I think the one I picked was the middle one of the bottom row. I highlighted a couple of them just because I like them so much, but the one I want you guys to really focus on is the middle one in the bottom row. It's because I think it's really interesting to look at. And all of these actually have pretty strong silhouettes, so great job, Artistry. This is really what you want to see when you're, I don't know, if I was a pretend art director, I'd love to have this mix of thumbnails that all feel very distinctive yet very strong. Number 7 is going to be this ship designed by Nicolas, and personally, I absolutely hate when wings have curves on them. I'm just not a fan of the curves. But nonetheless, his ship design just felt so crisp, and maybe his perspective was just nice that it really sold me. So I'm going to include something I hate, and that is a ship with curvy wings. Especially that back wing. Oh, it just kills me inside. It's got like that whole S curve going on. It's painful. And finally, number 8 is going to be Sentruos, who did some thumbnailing with actual Legos. So that is absolutely awesome, and I absolutely love these designs as well. The one I picked is the one on the right, because the yellow one seems a bit too basic, although it is nice. But this gray one over here has a lot of interesting shapes to it. And aside from the little bit of asymmetry going overboard with the wings, I don't know about that, but just the whole cockpit area and everything about it has a lot of interesting dynamics to it. So that's going to be it for the 8 choices. And once again, just vote on whichever one you think is the most interesting or would make a good illustration, and leave that in the comments below. And there is one last thing I want to do, and this is something that I started last episode of Design Lab, and that is the Artistry Award, which goes to a entry which already feels very finished, and I wouldn't probably be able to add much to it, but nonetheless, I want to share with you guys. So this Artistry Award winner is Ikazu Daswhale, and he made a ship out of Lego as well, although his is a bit bigger and a bit more polished and finished. But I thought that was a really cool entry to see, and I love seeing you guys come up with actual real-world kind of functional little things like this. So thank you very much, Ikazu, and that is a great entry. So that's going to be it for this little part of our episode, and I will probably try to get back with a finished illustration. I don't know, I'll give you guys a couple weeks to do some voting, but hopefully sometime this month we'll have a finished illustration. So thank you for watching, and good luck with your art endeavors.